So I just wanted to do a video real quick just in case other people were in the same boat I am. If you haven't played for a while or you just got lost in the never-ending changes of Blizzard's update and you completely lost the narrative, I just wanted to go over things like tempering, enchantments, all that wonderful stuff, because for a while there I didn't know what the hell was going on and I just preferred to not do it. So just real quick, if you don't know how to use tempering, enchantments, whatever, all that fun stuff, I'm gonna show you. First, a fun tip that's completely unrelated. If you ever log into your game after an update and all the colors on your screen are blinding because a $100 trillion company doesn't know how to code correctly, it's a quick fix. Just go into options, go to colorblind filter, change it to anything that's on, save changes, and then turn it off again and save changes, and your colors will go back to normal. Took me a few days of my eyes hurting before someone told me that one. But okay, let's say you're level 60, or you don't have to be, but let's say you get a new piece of gear that you want to put on your guy. Let's say these boots. You got a brand new drop, and you want to put these boots on. So what do you need to do? Usually you see this fucking vomit all over your map and you say, I'm just gonna go keep grinding. But the only three things you need to worry about are the blacksmith, the occultist, and the jeweler. Ta-da! So tempering is just like 2 bonus stats you can put on any piece of equipment. These change depending on the piece of equipment. So just put your boots in there, it'll tell you which 2 were qualify, and you just pick one. You see it says 0 out of 2. It means you can do 2 choices. You can pick 1 from each category. So you go into utility, you find out something that looks like it would fit your build. Like say I was bone build necromancer, and I wanted to get my bone prison to last longer. Bone prison duration is one of the ones. So you get a 1 in 3 chance, you click it, you temper. It'll give you a 1 in 3 chance of getting the one you want. It's like, no, I didn't get the one I want. So you can do it again, right? Go back to it, and it tells you how many times this item can be re-rolled for the whole thing, not just for this. Like if you mess up all 6 of your first attempts, then the next one better hit spot on or you're screwed. So you just keep doing it basically. Nope, don't want it. And a lot of times you'll be very frustrated with how it's a 1 in 3 chance, but you can't seem to get the one you want. Alright, so you got 41% bone damage. Blah, blah, blah. Mobility sucks, you just kind of want movement speed as far as I'm concerned, but it's not important. Who cares? So you put your 2 things on there. Next, you want to run over to the occultist and chant anything on here that you don't want. It doesn't apply to your build as far as maximum life, armor, movement speed. You can change any of those. Like say you don't think movement speed is very important, so you pick it, you enchant it, and it'll give you something to pick from. If you don't get one that you like, I think this might be new, because I don't remember being able to re-enchant stuff. But you can change the one that you already changed, is like I don't know how many times, but you can just keep changing it until you get what you want. Alright, so that's the 3rd thing down. You got your 2 temperaments, and your enchantment. Then you go to your imprint, and you're gonna eventually compile over the course of playing all the ones you want that apply to your style. So just usually what I do is I'll do that, I'll see what's imprinted on the one I'm about to replace, and then I'll just use that to look up what you put the same imprint back on. Or you can go through and see if you picked up any better ones. But whatever. So you got your imprint the way you want it. You got your stats enchanted the way you want it. You got your 2 temperaments.
Filled with
3rd
wonders.
step, you run to the jeweler. Usually you want to add sockets because new stuff doesn't always have the maximum amount of sockets. This one already does have, so you don't need to add any more sockets. And then
Stars guide you.
I'll equip it real quick so it's easier, but craft gems, that'll bring you to this screen. Okay, there's no gem slots, what am I doing? But this is where you would put in the gems. So, recap, you got your temperaments, you got your cultist stuff, and you got your jewels in there. That's all you need for that item's base. Then finally, you go back to Masterworking, which you can do with anything that has 2 temperaments in it. So pop those in there. All this does is increase everything by 5%. With the shit that you should have tons of by now, except for this one, the Abducite. This starts dropping at level 60 when you do nightmare runs, or what you should be doing anyway is Infernal Hordes runs. Because that gives you tons of XP, all the ancestral gear you'll ever want, and a shit ton of Abusite. But last thing to note on these is once you masterwork it up 4 times, one of the stats on your item will increase by, like, I think it's 25 or 50% or whatever. That's what that purple thing is, the purple stat. And I think that happens every time you go up 4. So it happens at 4, 8, and 12, and I think that's the max. And that's it. You got your gear set up. Again, blacksmith, occultist, jeweler. That's all you need. Blacksmith. Put the 2 stats. Oh, I forgot to mention. Make sure your tempering stats are kind of spread out. Like if you're a frost mage, you want cold damage, frozen damage, vulnerability damage. You don't want to put everything into the same stat, mostly because most things have a max limit. Like my blood surge, anything that's area of effect, diving, whirlwinds, earthquakes, stuff like that, is capped at 100%, so there's no point in making it larger than 100%. Attack speed and stuff like that is capped at like 200%, movement is capped. It'll tell you on the thing itself what the cap is. So if you go bat crap crazy trying to make blizzards super large, it'll only be 100% bigger, so make sure you're spread out. And finally, just a random list of things that you should be doing when you hit 60. You can run around the Helltide areas, killing blood maidens, and at the same time getting Whispers of the Dead up. If you downloaded the expansion, you can do underground stuff, where basically you kill things to add time to your time limit. It's really easy. It'll drop a few things. You can do nightmare runs, drops a few things, and gives you objects. If you see these weird things that you keep picking up, like living steel, that's because there's places like this where it's a dungeon where you use your random consumables to summon some main boss, and that boss will drop a bunch of unique and ancestral stuff. They don't really do a good job explaining that. You can also fight world bosses. Mainly, you'll spend time in Saragar, right here. Basically, slowly working your way up the tiers as the enemies get harder and harder, and you'll upgrade the power of your glyphs. But again, the main problem with Diablo 4 is, like, you're building and grinding towards nothing. There's no community. There's no, like, raids to play. So you're just working your way up a ladder that just kind of ends. But mainly, besides that, the portal activator thingamahoo, you'll want to be using the Infernal Hordes waves. because the end reward is insane. Alright, I hoped I helped at least one person in my rambling. Alright, bye.